All right, I'm going to give you an overview of how the algebra course is going to work this year. It's known as a flipped mastery course, which means I will be providing you lessons through video, and you will need to work through the lessons and master the content before you can move on. So this is the website where all the information will be stored. You want to bookmark it on your Chromebooks so that you can refer back to it later. But just to get started, we have algebra and accelerated algebra. Note the difference between the two is that in accelerated algebra, you will get through 2 more units of content, data analysis and modeling with other functions. So at some point you'll need to choose which course you plan on taking. If you think you can handle the accelerated course, you can jump into that course. And if at any time you think it's maybe a little too difficult to keep up, early on in the first quarter you can jump back down to Algebra 1, but both courses will teach the same 8 units, first 8 units, but accelerated algebra will get through the content a little bit quicker and get through units 9 and 10 as well. So an overview of what flipped mastery is, and you can read through it on your own, but here's a basic overview. You're going to watch a lesson on video and take notes. I have provided the first unit notes, guided notes that you can follow along. If you prefer to take your own notes, you may do that in a notebook as well. After you watch the video at night before class, you will bring any questions you have to class and I can answer those. And then you'll complete some practice problems and you will check your answers. And if you still have questions on that specific content, you can ask more questions in class. So the idea is that you work on problems in class while I'm there to help you out. And then you can complete some application, which is either word problems or it can be a project, a writing assignment, something to stretch your mind a little bit. Then any more questions, and then typically we'll do 1 or 2 lessons, and then we'll do a mastery check, which is a fancy word for a quiz that you must pass before you move on. If you do not pass, you do more practice through Khan Academy or Delta Math in order that you make sure you're understanding it. So once you do pass, you move on to the next section, continue the process, watch the lesson, take notes until you're done with the unit. When you're done with the unit, then you will take a summative assessment, a test, or a project of some kind. So here's what I said, all that in words, if you want to read that again. But just keep in mind the mastery check, you need to get at least an 80% before you're allowed to move on. And I'll give you feedback so you can learn from your mistakes. And then the summative assessment, you'll need to score at least a 70% or better. Okay, so some lessons might take longer than others. It's not a on your own course, but you might take a little bit longer in certain sections where other ones you might be able to go a little bit quicker. So I provided you with a pacing guide, which takes you to the online plan book. So all you have to do is just find out what day it is, what set you are, and you can find out what lesson we're on that day. And it's especially helpful if, for instance, you're going to be gone for a certain day. You can always keep track of what we did and where you should be in the course. Okay. The other thing to talk about is grading. There are different categories: your daily work, quizzes and tests. Daily work consists of taking your notes, practice problems, and application. That's worth 10% of your grade. That's just understanding the content. So don't just skip over that without understanding. You need to understand before you take the quiz, and the quizzes are worth 40%. And the tests will be worth 50% of the quarter grade. Once we get a semester exam, that'll be worth 10%. As I mentioned, you want to keep pace. If you fall behind, there will be a 0 entered in the grade book on the lessons that you are behind on to help you know that you need to get back up to speed. There are many ways that you can get back up to speed. Stop in and see me before school, after school if I don't have coaching responsibilities, or you can stop in and see me during your study hall if I have a free set then. So otherwise, you can take a look at the course syllabus if you're interested. Kind of goes over the same things that I mentioned there. And then the units are listed at the top of this website. So for instance, I want to take a look at first lesson, evaluate expressions, order of operations. Notice there is a video. You'll just click play and watch it. And then here are some guided notes in case you lost those and want to print off a copy of your own. The practice problems. You'll do about 15 to 20 practice problems on the specific content that we are working on. And then I'll provide you with the answers that you can check your work. And then, as I mentioned, there's an application that you will complete and turn in that involves different things. This one is finding and correcting mistakes. It could be a word problem, could be a writing project, something along those lines that makes you think a little bit more. So that's where all the content is stored. There's different links to different math tools that are helpful, such as the Desmos online graphing calculator. I guess it's not on there. I'll have to add that in. And any other math tools I find helpful, I'll add there. The other thing is Google Classroom I want to inform you about. Google Classroom is where the day-to-day things will occur and where we can communicate as a class. So you click the plus up here. Once you're logged in with your Shoreland account, you'll hit join class. You'll have to enter a class code. So here's where you determine, am I going to be doing accelerated or Algebra 1? And there's a class code here that you enter. So Algebra 1, class code is X937V9U. If you would like to do the accelerated algebra, code is 71053D4. So once you enter that code, it'll join you on the class and you'll stay connected with what we're doing. So once you're in Classroom, there's a streamline of what the lesson is. Different announcements, as I mentioned before, Khan Academy and Delta Math. There are links here that you can get connected in order to find some practice problems on specific topics that I will give you some links for in each unit that if you need some extra help you can click on and work on those. And then there's different projects that are the lessons that are connected there. So this is the teacher view. Your view will look a little bit different. But here is the first lesson that we're going to do in class. There's a video that you watch. You can answer a question, answer your classmates' questions, and any other links to documents I will provide if you need those for class. So this will kind of keep you updated and it'll let you know what's due and kind of keep you track of what's on pace. The About section will give you some information such as links back to the pacing guide, the class website, and the course syllabus in case you need to get back there and didn't bookmark it. So these are some of the tools that we will be using in class this year. If you have any questions, please let me know, and let's have a great year.